no one is paying as much attention to you as you think. It may sound harsh, but it's liberating. It means you have complete freedom to make choices and pursue what truly matters. The fear of judgment only holds you back, while those who understand this truth move forward unrestrained. When you stop worrying so much about others, you discover that true power lies in acting according to your values and achieving what you desire. So, how are you feeling today? Tell me in the comments so we can chat. How many times have you avoided doing something important out of fear of what others might think? It's amazing how much energy we waste trying to please or avoid judgment, as if it truly defines who we are. But what if, for a moment, you simply decided to ignore the external noise and focus on what truly matters to you? Imagine the impact of that. After all, prioritizing your values is like driving forward rather than looking in the rearview mirror. You can start with simple steps, like organizing your priorities in a list and focusing on what genuinely makes sense for your life, without worrying about others' approval. You know that project you've been putting off because you think it won't be good enough? Forget about it. The truth is, no one is scrutinizing your every move under a microscope, as you imagine. People are too busy dealing with their own battles to judge your choices. So instead of wasting your energy trying to guess others' opinions, use that time to start. Small steps like studying a topic you've always wanted to explore, or finally enrolling in a course, make all the difference. Taking care of your priorities doesn't mean ignoring others, but knowing where to place your attention. When you live constantly worried about others' expectations, you distance yourself from what you truly want. Think of your daily choices as seeds you're planting. Do you want to harvest fruits that nourish your happiness, or just leaves that decorate someone else's life? A good example is investing time in hobbies that bring personal satisfaction, like learning an instrument or practicing sports you love, even if no one understands why. Another important point is learning to say no without guilt. It may seem difficult, but it's liberating. Saying no to things that don't align with your priorities is like making room in your life for what truly matters. For instance, when you decline a social commitment that will only drain you, you gain time to dedicate to something valuable for your day, like spending time with family or simply resting. When you focus on your priorities, something magical happens. People begin to respect your boundaries. It's funny how, when we make it clear what we want, the world seems to adjust. It's as if by taking care of what's essential to you, you become an example to others. Have you noticed how determined people command respect? You can be that person too. Start with small changes in your daily life, like setting aside dedicated time for your projects and sticking to them. Of course, at the beginning, insecurities may arise. What if they think I'm selfish? Let that go. Being selfish isn't putting your priorities first. It's living a life that isn't yours just to please others. Look around and see how many successful people achieved it simply because they decided to stop seeking external validation. Life is too short to be lived as an attempt to fit into someone else's mold. By immersing yourself in your priorities, you also free up mental space for something even more powerful: the freedom to be who you truly are. And this freedom is the next step in this journey, which we will explore together now. Do you know what's truly liberating? Realizing that no one is paying much attention to you. It may sound strange at first, but think about it. People are so caught up in their own worries that they rarely have time to judge your choices. So why waste your energy trying to meet expectations that don't even exist? Once you understand this, a world of possibilities opens up, and you can begin to explore what you genuinely enjoy without fear of failure or criticism. Personal freedom doesn't mean isolating yourself or ignoring others. It means living authentically, without being limited by others' opinions. For instance, how many times have you avoided wearing a different outfit or posting something you loved out of fear of what others might think? But who says their opinion matters more than yours? By accepting that everyone is dealing with their own internal chaos, it becomes easier to allow yourself to be who you are without filters or masks. One of the best ways to experience this freedom is by trying new things. You know that trip you've wanted to take for ages but think is weird because no one else wants to go. Go alone. Or maybe that uncommon hobby you've always wanted to try, like gardening or contemporary dance. By connecting with your desires without worrying about approval, you start to build a life with more color and purpose. Interestingly, personal freedom also creates room for more genuine connections. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting people who genuinely align with who you are. Imagine that. Fewer superficial conversations and more meaningful relationships. An example? That friend who supports your crazy ideas or encourages you to pursue your dreams without questioning their practicality. But achieving this freedom requires courage to face the initial discomfort of breaking patterns. At first, it might seem challenging to say "I want" or "I prefer" without fearing judgment. But gradually, you realize that the greatest reward for being authentic is the peace that comes with it. And it's worth trading the weight of external approval for the lightness of being who you are, without worrying so much about what others think. The most fascinating part is how this personal freedom not only impacts your happiness, but also boosts your creativity and innovation. When you stop worrying about judgments, you begin to see the world in a lighter, more opportunity-filled way. It's like clearing a fogged glass and finally seeing what's on the other side. Your turn to shine is now. Take the first step toward your authentic self. Self-confidence isn't something you stumble upon. It's built, like a house constructed brick by brick. And do you know what the first brick is? Taking small actions that strengthen your sense of capability. It doesn't have to be anything grand at first. Completing a simple task, like organizing your schedule or learning something new, is already a great start. With every achievement, no matter how small, you send a message to your brain. I can do it. A common mistake many people make is seeking external validation to feel confident, but that's like building a house on sand. True confidence comes from within, based on what you do, not on what others say about you. For example, instead of waiting for praise at work, why not set a personal goal and celebrate when you achieve it? It could be something like improving a skill in a specific area or mastering public speaking. Another critical point is understanding that failure is part of the process. Confidence doesn't mean never failing, but learning to handle mistakes in a healthy way. Think of an athlete. They aren't born knowing how to run a marathon, but train and fail countless times until they reach their best performance. The same applies to you. Instead of avoiding challenging situations, approach them as opportunities to grow. And if you stumble, get up, adjust your strategy, and move forward. Building self-confidence also requires surrounding yourself with positive influences. This includes people who inspire you and content that drives you forward. A good book, for instance, can be a powerful ally. Have you read titles like The Power of Habit or Mindset, The New Psychology of Success? Both are excellent for understanding how to shape your mindset and create habits that fuel your confidence. Your environment also plays a significant role. Observe if there's something or someone around you that undermines your confidence. Is it that person who only knows how to criticize or the habit of spending hours on social media comparing your life to others? Identify these influences and, as much as possible, distance yourself from them. Replace these spaces with practices that uplift you, like meditation, exercise, or learning something new. Remember that confidence is a cycle. The more you act, the more confident you feel, and the more confident you feel, the more you act. This constant movement creates the solid foundation needed to tackle any challenge. So, start with a simple step, something within your reach right now. The key is not to stay still, because inertia is self-confidence's greatest enemy. Speaking of action, have you subscribed to the channel yet? It's quick and helps us continue bringing content like this. Take advantage of this moment while you're here, and let's move forward together on this journey. Money isn't everything in life, but having control over it can make all the difference in your peace of mind and the opportunities you create for yourself. Financial management begins with the basics. Understanding where your money is going. Without this step, it's like trying to fill a bucket full of holes. Why not track all your expenses for a month? This way, you can identify where the leaks are and start plugging those gaps. Once you know where your money is going, the magic lies in giving it a purpose. Think of your budget as a treasure map, where every dollar has a mission. For example, you could allocate a percentage for investments, another for essential expenses, and, of course, a portion for fun. The 50-30-20 rule is a great starting point. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or investments. Speaking of investments, it's time to demystify the idea that it's only for the rich. Today, anyone can start investing, even with little money. Digital platforms have made it more accessible, whether you're interested in stocks, real estate funds, or even fixed income. Why not begin with Treasury Direct or Index funds, ETFs? These are safe options, ideal for beginners, and are like planting a seed to reap future rewards. Another valuable tip is protecting yourself from unforeseen circumstances. No matter how much you plan, life can always bring surprises. That's why building an emergency fund is essential. Calculate the equivalent of 6 months of your fixed expenses and keep this amount in a high liquidity investment, like a certificate of deposit, CDB, or an account that offers better returns than a regular savings account. This will give you peace of mind to handle any situation. But financial management isn't just about numbers, it's also about mindset. What's the point of earning more if you spend everything impulsively? Learning to differentiate between what's truly important and what's just a fleeting desire is a powerful skill. For instance, before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add value to my life? Often, the answer might surprise you. And if you think you don't have time to learn about finances, remember that knowledge is one of the most profitable investments you can make. There are excellent online resources, free courses, and even accessible books, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or The Richest Man in Babylon. Spending just a few hours a week on this learning can completely transform how you handle money. When you begin to organize your financial life, you'll notice that it creates room to innovate, create, and most importantly, dream. This is when the doors to creativity and innovation open, allowing you to see possibilities where there were once only limitations. And this is precisely what we'll explore in the next section. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And do you know what might be blocking this muscle? The fear of judgment. When you stop worrying about what others might think, you open mental space to explore ideas that truly resonate with you. It's like giving your critical mind a break and letting your imagination take the lead. Have you ever tried jotting down all the ideas that cross your mind without censoring them? Many may seem silly at first, but that's where the magic lies. To innovate, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but find new ways to use it. Think about everyday situations. How could you simplify a task or make something more efficient? Great inventions started with simple questions like, why is this the way it is? Imagine starting small creative projects like drawing, writing, cooking something different, or creating solutions for challenges you face at work or home. Consistent practice leads to impressive results. Unleashing your creativity also requires surrounding yourself with the right stimuli. Sometimes the environment we're in can stifle our ideas. Why not break the routine? Visit a new place, read a different book, or watch inspiring documentaries. A fascinating example is Steve Jobs, who often sought inspiration outside the tech world, like in calligraphy. This shows that connecting dots from different fields can generate revolutionary ideas. And speaking of inspiration, never underestimate the power of idea exchange. Talking to people who think differently can open your mind to possibilities you never imagined. Picture a group of friends, colleagues, or even an online course where everyone shares experiences. You might even discover a new passion or hidden talent you've never had the courage to explore. To everyone who thinks they're not creative, science says otherwise. Everyone has creativity. It just needs practice. Start with simple exercises like writing a short story, solving a puzzle, or trying a new hobby. The more you expose yourself to creative challenges, the more your mind gets used to finding innovative solutions. It's like planting seeds and waiting to see which ones blossom. Innovation also requires the courage to fail. How many incredible ideas have been discarded because someone was afraid of seeming crazy? History is full of examples of people who challenged conventional wisdom and created something unique. You don't have to start with something grand. Even small changes in how you do things can be the first step to something bigger. The most exciting part is that when you begin to innovate, you feel a renewed enthusiasm for life. This state of constant curiosity and experimentation makes everything seem lighter and more exciting. And you know what else? This creative energy can be directed to create an even greater impact in what you do, whether in your personal or professional life. Who knows? You might even turn a simple idea into something that changes your world. And now that you know the secrets to living according to your priorities, achieving personal freedom, building self-confidence, managing your money, and unleashing your creativity, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Knowing is great, but applying it makes all the difference. It's time to transform ideas into actions and prove to yourself that the only real limit is in your mind. Will you wait another day, or will you take the first step now?